Today I'm going to discuss the most important Indian English writer, Shri Aurobindo Ghosh. Shri Aurobindo Ghosh was a very great writer of Indian literature as well as the other languages. Shri Aurobindo Ghosh ranks amongst the greatest personalities of modern India. He is a multifaceted genius, for example, political revolutionary, social reformer, historian, educationist, philosopher, yogi. He is a journalist, writer, dramatist, and more than all of these, a great poet. Sri Aurobindo has achieved lots of achievements in the Indian English literature. He is a multi-factor genius person, for example, political revolutionary, social reformer, historian, educationist, philosopher, yogi. He is a journalist, writer, dramatist, and more than all of this, a great poet. According to the K.R. Srinivas Iyengar, Aurobindo was not merely a writer who happened to write in English, but really an English writer. He is a very great Indian English writer who have contributes lots of great poems, dramas, novels, and etc. In fact, after spending his early days in England, Sri Aurobindo have completed his education in England, but naturally uh, connected to the native language of the Indian languages. In fact, after spending his early days in England, then returning to the Baroda, he reorients his Western studies with the studies of Sanskrit and modern Indian languages. So, after spending many years in England and then turned to the Baroda, he reoriented with Western studies with the studies of Sanskrit and modern Indian languages. Aurobindo's poetry is meant to bridge the present and the future like self-divided present life and life divine that is to be. So Aurobindo poetry is totally connected to the divine energy. For example, positive energy, like which connected a relationship with the between a man and the God and the nature. He has contributed lots of literary works which are beautifully divine and connected to the spiritual positive energy. For example, Savitri and the Mother. Aurobindo poetry is meant to be bridge the present and the future. Aurobindo poetry is basically focused on the present and the future, like self-divided present life and life divine that is to be. Song to the My Martilas and Urvasi are his earlier poems published respectively in 1895 and 1896. Even in a Tree, his early poem, A Tree is a beautiful poem which is written by Sri Aurobindo, contain his quintessence of philosophy in which he sees us as a present attainment, another thirsting for higher desire. So, a tree poem basically given the message how we are connected to our present life and want to try to grow higher in our life, want to be a successful, want to be a great, and connected to the present life. In Life and Death, he tells that death is life. Discuss that what appears to be death is another kind of a life. So, in Life and Death poem, he discussed about how the death is also a life after our death. In Savitri too, at the climatic moment in the epic, it is death itself which reveals the his true face as a supreme lord of life and delight. At the supreme lord like goddess and delight. How the Savitri fight fought against the death for her love, and it is the death itself which reveals its true face as the supreme lord of life and delight. Aurobindo philosophical and mystical glow is through an integral view of man, nature and God. So Aurobindo philosophical views जो है उनके point of views जो है they are basically totally hmm, connected to the man, nature and God. In Indian English, he believes in the evolution of life. In Indian English, he believes in evolution of life. Evolution, what is the development of life, and that will change the face of world, which can be change the face of world. In Savitri, his masterpiece, he succeeds to a great extent in experiencing his mystical experience and yogic realizations. In Savitri poem, he experienced the yogic relations and mystical experiences. Great extent in expression is mystical experiences and yogic realizations. So, with how the um, his basic philosophical point of views are connected to the nature and the divine spiritual energy, and uh, which are also connected man to the God and God to the nature and nature to the man. So this kind of a connection they have naturally in his each and every literary work. For example, in Savitri, he he given the message of Supreme Lord and of life and delight. According to the conclusion that realizes from the bondage and changes with a secret knowledge, the soul achieves a complete spiritual transformations. So, according to the Sri Aurobindo, the conclusion is that of his all literary work is that how the uh, realizes from the bondage and changes with the secret knowledge, changes with the secret knowledge. The soul achieves a complete spiritual, the soul have achieved करते spiritual, a complete spiritual transformation, एक complete spiritual transformations. ठीक है. So I hope you like this video, which is very important according to examination point of view. The question is repeated in your exams again and again, Shri Aurobindo, and you have to mention all the details. First of all, you have to follow the same structure, and first of all, you have to write the Sri Aurobindo Ghosh ranks among the great personalities of modern India, and he is a multifaceted genius. For example, political revolutionary, social reformer, historian, educationist, philosopher, yogi, and according to the other writers, K.R. Srinivas younger, Aurobindo was not merely a writer who happened to write in English, but really an English writer. In fact, after spending his early days in England and then returning to the Baroda, he reoriented his Western studies with the studies of Sanskrit and modern Indian languages. So he, after spending lots of years in England, he is naturally connected to the Sanskrit and modern Indian languages. Aurobindo poetry is meant to bridge the present and the future, like self-divided present life and life divine the that is to be. And you have to define some poems which are very important, like a tree in a life and a death in Savitri. Mother poem is also important. Aurobindo by philosophical and mystical glows through an integral view of man, nature and God. And in Indian English, he believes in the evolutions of life. In Savitri, his masterpiece, he succeeds to a great extent in expressing his mystical experience and yogic realization. And you have to write your conclusion in your own word, and which kind of a which kind of composition and which kind of a combination Sri Aurobindo poetries and other literary works have, and which kind of a messages they giving by their literary work. You have to mention all of them. Thank you. I hope you like these videos. Thank you so much.